Omagyanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Nilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hari Vilas Prabhu is a very senior, experienced, learned and authoritative member of Srila Prabhupada's International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And he just stated that the devotees who are about to be formally initiated as members of Srila Prabhupada's movement are very fortunate to be taking initiation from Bhakti Vikasa Swami. I'm not going to contradict him, as he is a learned, authoritative, senior member of our movement, but I'd like to speak a little bit about why they're fortunate. Birth in India is fortunate. Birth in the West is unfortunate, generally speaking. Although, you probably know that incident where two of Prabhupada's sannyasis visiting the Radharaman temple in Vrindavan were taking darshan of the deities of Radharaman with such obvious bhakti that the pujari there was prompted to say to them that you have so much devotion, and as a result of this, in your next life, you may be born in India so that you can worship the deity. So the sannyasis went back to Prabhupada, who was staying at Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan at that time, and recounted this incident to them. And Prabhupada said that they should go back and tell the pujari that as a result of his devotion to Radharaman, he may be so fortunate that in the next life he could be born in the Western countries and preach Krishna consciousness all over the world. Generally speaking, birth in India is most fortunate. That is stated in Shastra. And we can see that practically, that is, especially those, and particularly those who are born in Hindu families, generally speaking, even if they're born in non-Vaishnav sections of Hindu society, of course Hindu society is what does it mean? It's very complex, but still we can say there are Vaishnavas, Smartas, Shaivas, Ganapatyas, and so on and so on and so on. But generally, all have a tendency to respect Krishna. As Srila Prabhupada pointed out, on Janmashtami, all sections of Hindu society come together to glorify Krishna. So everyone, even with various misconceptions, will respect Krishna. And there's a culture there which is starkly different to that of the Western countries, that you can experience when you come here. Especially when you come directly after spending some time in India, when you come to the West, it's quite obvious. Even now, even as India and Indians are trying their best, they're not so good at it, but they're getting better gradually at becoming degraded. But still the Westerners are far more advanced, or whatever the word may be, the appropriate word. So, here is, sitting above you here, the person you're about to accept beads from, and names from, and formal initiation into the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, is coming from the Mleccha background, and although I must admit too that I wasn't one of the champions in super degradation before I came to Krishna consciousness, but just being an ordinary citizen of the Western world, I was bad enough. And you are coming from cultured Indian families and already close to Krishna by your birth. So what do I have to offer you? Well, Jogata bichare kichu nahi pai, tomara karuna sha. I don't have any qualification, but the only qualification I have is that Srila Prabhupada, by his causeless mercy, he came to the Western countries, and those who were very fortunate they took shelter of his lotus feet. So the attempt to take shelter at his lotus feet, and the faith that by imparting what Srila Prabhupada has given to us, by imparting that to others, they will be benefited unlimitedly. With that faith, I have something to offer you, which is even more valuable than your pious birth. Your pious birth is very valuable, but it doesn't become fulfilled unless one takes to Krishna consciousness in the pure parampara that directly links us to Krishna. So that's what I have to offer you. I have many things to learn from pious people of India. Prabhupada wanted that cultured Indians take to his movement. He was disappointed that Prabhupada put so much effort into preaching Krishna consciousness in India, and even though most of his disciples were from America, but Prabhupada, he put so much time and energy into preaching in India, and often his disciples couldn't understand why. Why are we going to so much difficulty to build a temple in the middle of the fields in Mayapur when no one seems to want us to do so? The local Gauriya Math people don't want us to do so. The West Bengal government doesn't want us to do so. The local Muslims don't want us to do so. It's miles away from anywhere. You can't even get there. Why is Prabhupada doing this? And bringing his disciples, and they're getting sick, and they're getting frustrated, and they're running back to the West. Why is Prabhupada doing so? Prabhupada had the vision. We can see that now. Now so many educated and cultured Indian people are taken to Krishna consciousness in the pure line given by Prabhupada. Prabhupada very much wanted that, and we see that even though he had so many intelligent disciples from the West, if any educated Indian joined, he actually gave special attention to them. There's a few examples we can think. He took them under his wing, we can say, just like Jashamati Nandan Prabhu joined here, Shubhag Maharaj in England, Bhakti Charu Maharaj. He was joined, and Prabhupada gave him sannyas. First, he gave him Harinam initiation, Brahminical initiation, and sannyas, all within just over 1 year of joining. So Prabhupada wanted that. Prabhupada he often quoted Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying, Bharata Bhumite Hoila Manusha Janmaja Janma Shata Kari Karo Para Upaka, that those who have taken birth in the land of India should make their life successful. Human birth in the land of India specifically should make their life successful by Krishna consciousness and work for the benefit of others. Try to benefit others. So Prabhupada's desire is beginning to fructify, and we pray that you go on as you are doing and set a good example. People everywhere, and especially in India, they're beginning to appreciate, and they will do so more and more, how devotees, especially when talking about the cultured Indian devotees, we might say, well, what's the difference? We're not the body. Well, spiritually there is no difference, but culturally there is a difference. The culture that we're born into, the sanskars, or the impressions that we attain, and it does make a difference. So you have a head start, so to speak, that will become purified and perfected by the process of sadhana and service in Krishna consciousness. given to us by Srila Prabhupada, coming down from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. Anyone who takes to this process, even if they're the most fallen, can become perfectly purified. So, please continue to set a good example. Appreciate the value of your culture. At the same time, one has to take knowledge from Guru, Sadhu and Shastra to understand what is the actual culture and what is the bogus thing. Because in Hindu culture there are so many good things, there are so many bogus things also. So one has to know what's what. Otherwise, one can be misled. Harivilas Prabhu also spoke about our gurus. And in ISKCON today, this is an important point, an essential point, which I perceive the devotees who are taking to Krishna consciousness here in the Seattle area, they have a good understanding of this, that it's not just me and my guru and to hell with everyone else, but there are many gurus, and we're fortunate to have many gurus. It's not that, well, I have my guru and it's him and that's all, but we're fortunate to have many gurus. Those of devotees of neophyte mentality just see me and my guru and they don't care for anyone else, and they think that, well, my guru is the best, therefore I'm the best. It's a very neophyte mentality, and in some places it really inhibits our spreading of Krishna consciousness, because the devotees, instead of thinking how we can bring more people to Prabhupada's movement, they think how they must be the disciples of my guru. That's it. And they make a kind of competition with other gurus and disciples within ISKCON, which is a very neophyte and sectarian mentality, which I'm glad doesn't exist here. Thank you for that. So there are many things to be said, many things have been said, many things will be said. Initiation is in one sense a formality, because it means that you just like you say the 4 principles you vow to follow, but you're formally saying that because you've already decided to. If you're just thinking at the time when you take initiation, well, shall I follow or not? Okay, then you're not ready for initiation. It's a formality in the sense that it is a ceremony which formalizes a commitment that's already made. At the same time, it's not. We shouldn't think, well, initiation is just a formality and it doesn't matter. It does matter. It means the commitment to surrender to Krishna. Dikha kale bhakta kare atma samarpan. Initiation means the determination, the vow to surrender to Krishna. So that's not just a formality. It's nothing light. It's heavy. Guru means heavy. And disciple also has to be heavy. It's a heavy vow. By becoming a disciple, one actually becomes guru. One becomes heavy, substantial, grave. So, as I said, there are many things to be said, many things have been said, and many things will be said eternally. As Harivilas Prabhu was saying, it's hearing and accepting is the essence of the guru-disciple relationship. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya, hearing, Chitete Koriya Aika, and accepting. So that means hearing not just as a kind of academic exercise, but accepting that into our hearts. So let's all work together. Gurus, disciples. A Vaishnava sees that everyone is my guru. As Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur often said, I never made any disciples. They're all my gurus because they're all teaching me. So he also referred to his disciples as my friend who are protecting me from dangers. So let's all work together. There is, in Vaishnava society, there is the proper maryada, or there is a stratification of gurus and disciples, but at another level, we understand we're all Vaishnavas. Those who are as a service taking the roles of gurus should never think of themselves, I am a guru, I am better than others. But they should always, their qualification to be guru is that they always think that everyone else is my guru. Only a person who thinks like that can actually be a guru. So, yes, as I now am saying for the third time, there are many things to be said, but we won't say anything much more now. When do the deities open again? That's what time? 12 o'clock.
No, just
few minutes. Because actually you should take the vow before the deities. The deities open. You can do the preamble. Yeah. Yeah, you can do the preamble. Yeah. So my thanks I have to express to Harivilas Prabhu and all the devotees here for helping those who are sitting here for initiation, helping them to bring them in and bring them up in Krishna consciousness. And please be aware of that we're all helping each other. You have to help others. It's a mutual sharing movement. Northwest share. That's what it means. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.